She looked good on both ends. That's what Coach Kara Lawson said after watching Caitlin Clark's first practice back with Team USA. But let's be honest, that simple statement doesn't even come close to capturing what actually happened at that camp. Clark didn't just look good. She completely dominated every single newcomer there, including Angel Reese. And by the end of day 2, it became crystal clear who's building USA basketball's next dynasty and who's getting left behind. After 5 months away from competitive basketball, battling injury after injury, Caitlin Clark walked into Team USA camp with everything to prove. This wasn't just another practice. This was her audition for the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Every coach, every analyst, every camera was focused on her first touches. Could she still move like the player who broke 62 records as a rookie? Would the rust show after such a brutal sophomore season? And here's the thing that has everyone in the basketball world talking right now. Clark didn't just prove she's healthy, she proved she's the undisputed leader of Team USA's future. Meanwhile, Angel Reese, who came into camp with her own expectations, watched her chances of making the final roster evaporate in real time. If you believe the story behind the story matters, if you want to understand what's really happening with Team USA's roster decisions, smash that like button right now. It tells us you're here for the real analysis, not the surface level takes. Let's connect the dots here because this goes way deeper than just one good practice. Clark's sophomore season was supposed to be her coronation. After breaking 62 records as a rookie, after turning the WNBA upside down with her incredible play, everyone expected her to take another massive leap forward. Instead, it became a nightmare. One injury led to another, then another. She managed just 13 games the entire season. 13 games after rewriting the record books. Clark herself described the frustration perfectly. She said the challenge was that it started as one injury, then it got a little better. But then it continued to compound and get worse. Other things kept popping up. The woman who had dominated college basketball and then dominated the WNBA as a rookie could barely stay on the court. The whispers started. Could she come back? Would the injuries keep piling up? Was her historic rookie year just a flash in the pan? 5 months. That's how long Clark had been away from competitive basketball when she walked into Team USA camp. 5 months away from the game that made her famous. And you could see it in the way people were watching her. The stakes couldn't have been higher. This wasn't just about proving she was healthy. This was about proving she was still the generational talent everyone believed she could be. Clark admitted she felt nervous walking into camp. But here's where it gets interesting. She said that the moment she touched the basketball to start warming up, even before practice officially started, that's when she felt comfortable. Being hurt is incredibly isolating, she explained. You don't really understand it until you go through it. But comfortable doesn't even begin to describe what happened next. Clark declared herself 100% healthy, and then she proved it on the court in ways that had Sue Bird and the entire coaching staff absolutely buzzing. Her shots fell. Her passes found their targets. Her court vision looked sharper than ever. She pushed tempo like the Clark of old, creating fast break opportunities and finding teammates in perfect positions. The woman who averaged 16.5 points and 8.8 assists in those 13 healthy games last season looked completely locked in. But here's what really separated Clark's performance from everyone else at camp. It wasn't just that her individual skills were back, it was the way she made everyone around her better. Coach Kara Lawson watched Clark work and couldn't hide her amazement. She looked good on both ends, Lawson said, and that simple statement carried massive weight. Clark hadn't missed a beat, according to the coaching staff. After 5 months away and a season full of injuries, she looked like the record-breaking rookie all over again, maybe even better. One analyst who broke down the film noticed something crucial. It's not just that she's back on the basketball court, and it's a relief, they said. Her speed seems to be back. We saw it on that step-back 3 on the first day of practice. But there was a play on day 2 that stood out for multiple reasons. Clark got a dribble handoff from Aliyah Boston. The way she turned the corner, how quickly she got downhill, it was vintage Clark. Dribble handoff, scoop, moving quick with intent. She got it to Jackie Young, who missed the layup but fought for it. That burst, that explosiveness, that ability to change gears instantly, it was all there. Clark's joy was obvious to everyone watching. She said her main goal for the day was just to smile and have fun. And that smile never left her face during practice. She had her game back, her health back, her confidence back. The entire dynamic at Team USA camp shifted the moment Clark proved she was truly healthy again. But there was one moment during practice that made Sue Bird and the coaching staff realize they were watching something truly special. Clark found Aliyah Boston cutting to the basket with a pass that seemed to defy physics. The ball arrived exactly where Boston needed it, exactly when she needed it. Boston smiled as she finished the play. Clark grinned right back. The two Indiana Fever teammates had just shown Team USA exactly what championship chemistry looks like. And this is what really puts pressure on defenses when Clark's out there. Watch what happened on this sequence. She grabbed the rebound and immediately started pushing the floor. Look at this tempo. She's absolutely rushing the defense. And this is what happens when you do things like that. Suddenly you've got a wide-open shooter in the corner, all because Clark grabbed that rebound and pushed the tempo before the defense could set up. Building team chemistry usually takes weeks or months in camp settings. Players need time to learn each other's tendencies, timing, preferred spots on the court. Most guards struggle to find big men in traffic or deliver passes at the right speed. But Clark and Boston already knew each other's games inside and out. They'd spent an entire season together with the Fever, learning how to read each other's movements and create scoring opportunities. Their connection became obvious to coaches within minutes. Clark would grab a defensive rebound and immediately push tempo, scanning the court for Boston, sprinting down the floor. Boston would read Clark's eyes and cut to exactly the right spot. The timing was perfect. The execution was flawless. This wasn't two players trying to figure each other out. This was two players who already spoke the same basketball language. And this is where things get really interesting for the future of Team USA. Drop a comment right now telling us who you think should make the final roster for 2026. Are you Team Caitlin and Aliyah as the foundation, or do you see a different core group leading USA basketball to gold? Because what we're about to break down reveals exactly why the coaching staff is building around specific players. Here's what many of you have been saying in the comments for weeks. And you were absolutely right. The chemistry between Clark and Boston isn't just about their time together in Indiana. It's about their complementary skill sets, creating opportunities that neither could create alone. Clark's court vision and passing ability turns Boston into an offensive weapon. Boston's ability to finish and protect the rim makes Clark's aggressive drives more effective. Together, they create problems that opposing defenses simply cannot solve. Sue Bird watched Clark's performance with obvious satisfaction. She looked great, Bird said about Clark's return to form. And when the managing director of USA Basketball says a player looks great, coaches listen. Bird noted that Clark's rhythm was back after months away from competitive basketball. But then Bird said something that really stood out. She mentioned Clark's versatility. She can score, she can play defense, she has size. One analyst broke down what they see as Team USA's starting five moving forward: Caitlin Clark running the point, Jackie Young at the 2, Kayla Copper at the 3, Dearica Hamby at the 4, and Aliyah Boston starting at the 5. That's the lineup that makes the most sense based on what we saw at camp. That's the lineup that maximizes Clark's strengths while surrounding her with defenders, rebounders, and players who can finish in transition. The coaching staff's reactions revealed their clear preference. They smiled when Clark made plays. They nodded when she made smart decisions. Their body language showed they'd found their starting point guard. Clark stated it feels nice to finally be back to 100%, and her performance backed up that claim completely. Clark's dominant showing essentially ended any real competition for the primary point guard role. Other guards were still fighting for roster spots, but Clark had locked down the starting position. The future of Team USA basketball was taking shape around one player who had just announced a return to elite form. But while everyone focused on who would make the roster, the real story was about who would define the next decade of Team USA basketball. This camp marked the moment when USA basketball officially passed the torch to a new generation, and Clark stood at the center of that transition. Clark reflected on her journey with USA basketball during camp. She remembered playing on the U16 team and dreaming about representing the senior national team. "It's the beginning of a new Olympic cycle," Clark said about her return to Team USA. That dream was now becoming reality. But the pressure is massive. The 2026 World Cup and 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles carry enormous expectations. Having Clark back on the floor at all is a big deal for people who were probably holding their breath a little bit too. But all of her movements look good. That's the most important thing. But that speed burst, that ability to get up the court quickly, has really stood out. Analysts noted this was something she never quite got all the way back in year 2, just because of the myriad of injuries that started in preseason with the quad injury. That ability to move quickly with the basketball is a differentiator for Clark. It's what makes her special. And seeing it back at full strength sent a clear message to everyone at camp. Sue Bird praised Clark's resilience throughout her injury-plagued season. Bird emphasized Clark's ability to stay connected and involved despite being sidelined. The managing director recognized the challenges Clark faced but noted how she remained a supportive teammate. Bird's praise revealed the organization's long-term confidence in Clark's leadership abilities. Clark's transformation from injured second-year pro to cornerstone of Team USA's future looked complete. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Angel Reese. Reading between the lines of what happened at camp, Reese's situation tells a very different story. One analyst put it bluntly, Angel Reese can be an asset and a value rebounding, being tenacious on this team, and being just a role player, which is what she should be. She's not a star, go-to player. Rebound, and that's it. Rebound and play defense. That's all you gotta do. Here's the reality that's becoming increasingly clear. Reese emphasized that players were selected for camp based on their ability to contribute to the team. But Reese's fit with the new direction looks questionable at best. Her playing style doesn't mesh well with Clark's tempo-focused approach. The coaching staff seemed less impressed with Reese's individual performances compared to Clark's team-first mentality. Connecting the dots reveals something important. Reese grew frustrated watching Clark dominate practices while her own opportunities decreased. The competitive atmosphere intensified as roster spots became more defined. Clark's chemistry with players like Aliyah Boston and Cameron Brink highlighted natural connections that Reese couldn't replicate. Her chances of making the final roster appeared to be slipping away with each practice. Coach Kara Lawson was impressed with Clark's performance at camp. She looked good on both ends of the court and hadn't missed a beat, Lawson noted. The head coach highlighted Clark's focus and readiness despite time away from competitive play. These comments signaled Clark's locked-in status for the 2026 World Cup roster. That speed is back, that burst is back, and therefore, Caitlin Clark is back. Just the way she gets up the floor, controls the ball, controls the step back, pure. She said she had to get her conditioning back. That was one thing. It would take her a little bit of time to work towards. The official roster announcement will formalize what everyone already knows. Clark has secured her starring role on Team USA's future championship plans. Her return positions both the national team and the Indiana Fever for unprecedented success. Clark reunited with Cameron Brink at Camp Ice, reflecting on their shared history from the U19 team days. Clark's journey from camp standout to Olympic gold medalist is just beginning. The foundation is set for a dominant run through 2026 and beyond. Team USA has found their leader for the next decade. Sue Bird and Coach Lawson aren't just building a team for 2026. They're building a dynasty around one player. The challenge seems huge. How do you blend young talent with USA Basketball's gold medal standard? Most teams struggle with this balance. Veterans clash with rookies. Chemistry takes years to develop. But Clark provides the perfect bridge between youth and championship expectations. She brings elite talent but also leadership qualities that Sue Bird praised throughout her injury recovery. Clark stayed engaged with teammates despite being sidelined. Her step-back threes and passing skills haven't missed a beat at camp. Team USA has found their leader for Germany 2026 and Los Angeles 2028. And if you want to see our breakdown of what's next for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever as they prepare for next season, that video is coming next. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so you don't miss it, because we're going deep into how Clark's Team USA performance changes everything for her WNBA championship odds. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.